Hey everyone, it's me, Jonathan from Motorpsychology. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and your support, as always, is greatly appreciated. So today's video, it's a little bit different. It's freezing where I am here, and as it typically is in northern countries, it gets pretty cold. So I decided to do something different that kept me inside for the most part, and I decided that I would do a 3D print of one of those hard to find C3 Corvette dual cup holders that fit in the console between the seats. So that's what I decided to do. This video is relatively short, and I will show you the 3D plan and the printing process, and then the final completed cup holder and the installation on the red C3 Corvette. So stick around for that, and let's dive into it. So what I'm looking at here is a 3D rendering of the C3 Corvette dual cup holder and the sides that will go down the column just under the e-brake. So just having a look at it, and I'm going to show you the dimensions of this thing here once I spin it around. So it's actually going to print right way up, so I have to build some special pontoons, I guess, to hold this in place as you 3D print it. So if you're familiar with 3D printing, you know that you can't print a flat surface just in the air. So there's the dimensions. So width-wise, it's 79.48 millimeters, and lengthwise here, it's 194.50 millimeters, and that will fit perfectly. And I'm just going to spin it around, and when you're rendering it, you can make it any color literally that you want. So I'm just going to flash on the black and see how that looks, because that's going to be the type of filament that I use, black. So let's have a look at that, and then after that I'm going to change it to red and check that out. So it seems like most of these come as a black option, and that's what I'm going to print, a black one. At a later time I may do a red one, but we'll see what that could look like here. Let's check that out. Yeah, not bad. Let's go for black first, and let's get into it. So once it's rendered, then I can save the file and move it onto my printer. This is the type of product I used. It's made by a company called Polymaker, and it's a PLA product. So I'll show you some more info off the box. So a little bit more detail here. It's made by a company called Polylite PLA Pro. Here's the details there as far as the size. So what you see here is the print. This has probably been printing for a few hours now. So you're just seeing the base of the cup holder get built, and underneath you can see those tree-like structures. Those are supports that give the cup holder some sort of support as it's being built, because it's impossible to build flat surfaces on thin air. So you create those forms, and once the print is done, you can snap those forms off and you get a great final product. So I'm going to show some progressive builds as this builds up. So it was quite a long print and took several hours, but you'll see at the end the quality is really nice. So I chose 60 times normal speed to show this, and I didn't record the entire print, but I thought it was important to at least show how these things are made in 3D printing. So once again, you can look down at the bottom and you can see those customized, they almost look like trees that are holding up this 3D print. So if you've done any 3D printing, you know that it's important to create a reasonable base, especially for those areas that are getting printed that aren't going to have any support. So all the base here, those things that look like little black trees, they'll get broken off once this is completed. So that's part of the goal with that. As this builds up, you can kind of see how this printer, it just lays down a really, really thin line of this hot plastic PLA filament and gradually builds it up, and it just decides on its own which is the best method that it's going to use to do it. So if you were to look inside this cup holder, it's made out of a ton of scaffolding and very triangular pieces to give it some internal structure. So it actually builds this really interesting pattern as it's producing it. So anyway, this is it getting built, and you can see it taking its familiar shape. So the elapsed time, if you look at the corner there on the right, is 24 hours and 51 minutes. So we're looking at a full day of 3D printing to get this thing done. But at the end of the day, or at the end of the printing, I was pretty happy with the results. So you can now see that it has taken its shape. This actually was over a 24-hour build. So it sounds like a long time, but once you get it set up, you literally just walk away and it'll do all the other work. So not really a big deal. There's a really good view of those supports that had to be designed and built first before building the cup holder. But yeah, it's looking really good there, and it's going to come out great. So the printer here is just finishing off the top, and when that's done, the product will be done. In order to break off the support forms that I did, it's a really good idea to put the whole product in the freezer compartment of your fridge for an hour or so, and then it just helps break those bottom parts off. So this is the final product here. I'll just give you some measurements, but just to show you that it does fit some decent sized cups here. Here's a series of cups. This is a regular size Starbucks plastic cup. Fits in there pretty good. Here's a larger one, Starbucks. Fits in there really good. A typical coffee mug here. Coffee cup fits in nicely. No issues. And then even a larger kind of thermal cup fits in there pretty good as well. And I'll just give you some final measurements here. So the actual diameter from outside to outside is about 3 inches and maybe 1/8, and the inside measurement is going to be probably just 2 7/8, I'd say would be safe on that. All right, I'll do the inside measurement here, a little bit more accurate with this guy. So we've got 2 inches and whatever that means, 111 over 128, so almost 3 inches. It's nice and hard, super firm. It's really pretty good. So here we are on the inside of the Corvette, and here is that drink holder or cup holder, and there's 2 angles to that part there. So I've been trying to figure out which one should face forward and which one should face backwards. So it's almost like a trial and error. I'm going to put this one forward though and see how that goes. So in order to install it, it goes in between this area here. So this is just a blank space, or it looks like it's a coin holder or something like that. And you just have to raise the emergency brake handle a little bit, and that gives you enough room to stick the cup holder in. So the cup holder goes in like that, and then you secure it to the side, which is made of some sort of like MDF material, and there's screws that go in this hole here. So for example, you can take a typical short screw and screw it in there. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'd probably use something like this and just paint it red to match, or paint it black, I guess, to match. And that would be it. So once it's installed, you know, you have the functionality of your emergency brake, which goes in between, and then you have the cool cup holders as well, which are basically about the only options that are really available for this type of car. So I'll just put a cup in here so you can see how that looks. So from a cup point of view, this is a medium coffee cup, and that would go in like that. So when you're driving, you could probably make a few adjustments to make sure that it goes a little bit more vertical. But you know what? It's a pretty decent cup holder for what I need. Hey everyone, thanks for watching that video. Very short video on how you could 3D print the hard to find cup holders for the C3 Corvette. So I tried to show you what I did, the model I used, and printing it as well. And the fit on the Corvette is awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better fit. So highly recommended if you have a 3D printer. I'm going to put the link to the file on the description, and please feel welcome to download it and use it and modify it or whatever works for you. So anyway, thanks so much for being here watching these videos. If you feel like it, subscribe, share, or whatever. Greatly appreciated, and we'll catch you all in the next video.